Good evening. Welcome to Michael Savage's Corner here. I want to take on a very powerful topic, which is Zionism, what it is and what it isn't. Um, I have faced this hatred for many years when I was a student at University of California at Berkeley for my doctorate, and I was already in my 30s. Already we saw the Arabs and the left marching together against Zionism, which was really a desire to eliminate the Jewish state. And I argued with them to no avail. Now it has metastasized to the point where the American right and the American left have something in common, which is their new hatred for Jews. They don't call it that. They say, well, we can criticize Israel without hating Jews. No, that's not what they're doing. It's become very fashionable on the right to hate Israel and hate Jews. And I can understand with Epstein and those names, it's very easy. It's coming up again, bubbling up from the surface. But before you confuse yourself with words such as genocide, which most of you don't even know what the hell it means, and look only at what's going on in Israel and Gaza without looking at what's going on in Africa with your friends from the Islamic world, killing Christians by the thousands for many years now, slaughtering whole communities of Black Christians without not one word on the campuses. Now, this is not justifying. I want you to hear me out. My entire lecture today, or sermon, or discourse, really, the discourse is a proper word, before you judge any further. Back off and learn to listen and think before you respond. I'm open to the suggestions and listening to you. So let's start at the beginning. What is Zionism and what is it not? Why is this sudden love for Arabs? Where did this come from? This love for Hamas, love for Arabs amongst the American right. People who were Trump supporters and are Trump supporters and call themselves American patriots have no problem with hating Israel and hating Jews, masked as being anti-Zionist when they don't even know what Zionism is. They have no idea what Zionism is, but they hate it. So let's try to discern with some reality what this really is. There's been a Jewish presence in Israel for 3,500 years. Read your Bible, particularly you right-wing Christians who love to call yourself Christians. Read your own Bible. Your Bible derives from the Jewish people. Judaism gave birth to Christianity, which gave birth to Islam. Make no mistake about it. It is the mother of all monotheistic religions, or the father of all monotheistic religions. Jewish presence in so-called Palestine. You can call it Palestine if you wish. We could talk about that at another time. 3,500 years at least. Now, do I approve at this time of the Israeli government's actions in its entirety? 100% no. I have said now for months that Netanyahu must be stopped. He must stop, cordon off, a mile deep into Gaza, build a wall if you have to, mine the fields, cut off northern Gaza, and then rebuild middle and southern Gaza. But if they go forward with deporting 1.2 million people in Gaza on donkeys and cars with mattresses and starving children, this will not be good for the Jewish people for at least 100 years. Netanyahu is a madman as far as I'm concerned, with this desire to cleanse Gaza of Arabs. Now, I know the whole story. I was opposed to giving back Gaza when the general did this. I don't remember the year. I was on the radio. I thought it was the greatest mistake ever made by this once great general who had encircled the Egyptian army. And instead of killing the Egyptians who had encircled on the other side of the Suez Canal, he actually sent tanker loads of water to them. Ariel Sharon is who I'm talking about, because he was wise enough to know that one day the Arabs in Egypt and the Jewish people in Israel and the Christian people in Israel and the Druze people in Israel would have peace with Egypt, And they did not want to slaughter the entire, I think it was the Sixth Army, the Egyptian Sixth Army. And there has been a great peace now between Egypt and Israel, which is shaky because of these actions in Gaza, which I oppose. But I don't want to lose the focus of my discussion today, which will not be a long one. I keep hearing from illiterate morons that they hate Zionists, not Jews, or they hate Zionism. They don't even know what the word means. There really are basically old school country bigots disguising themselves as intellectuals who hate Zionists but not Jews. So, what is Zionism and what is it not? What is it? It's a belief that the Jewish people, like all peoples on the earth, have the right to self determination and safety in their ancestral homeland, the land of Israel. Now, let me stop you right there, all you self righteous right wingers who think that you really care about the Palestinians. You don't really care about Palestinians, you just hate Jews for a number of myriad reasons, with the activities of some of the most prominent Jewish voices being disgusting, whether it be Weinstein or Epstein. And I wrote it myself for years that this country has gone from Einstein to Epstein in one generation. You think I don't see it? But the fact of the matter is, you can't say all Jews are like Epstein or Weinstein. And I'm not going to sit here and defend Weinstein or Epstein. They're despicable human beings who deserve what they got. But what is Zionism? We in America like to think that we have a right to self-determination, and we have a right to our borders, language, and culture, of which I have been a chief proponent for 30 years now, if not longer. We have a right to a homeland. Our homeland? Is it our homeland? What about the Native Americans who are pushed off the land, slaughtered, decimated, their land stolen from them, smallpox put in the blankets of some of the tribes, the death marches of the Native Americans? So don't get so self-righteous with me about what a great American you are. Why don't you give up your property to a Native American and shut your pie hole? I've said that on the campus of Berkeley 30 years ago. Why don't you give up your house in the hills of Berkeley to the Miwok Indians, you lying bastard, you? I did. I've argued with them. Suddenly the left went silent. They shut their goddamn mouths. The inheritance cases were the most vehement anti-Jewish, anti-Zionist people on earth, many of whom were Jewish themselves. Give up your land. Give it back to the Indians. Zionism, dirty word now. It asserts that the Jewish people are not only joined together by a religious identity, but a people with a cultural, historic, and spiritual tie to the land of Israel. And they had a right to build a sovereign state there, a right recognized for all peoples under international law, and it was denied to the Jewish people for centuries. At its core, it's about the dignity, survival, and belonging of the Jewish people, a tiny little piece of land. So many of you are confused. You don't know where this is coming from. It's coming from all the big Arab money coming out of the Gulf states, which has poisoned the mind of the world. The Gulf states, who believe, and the Bedouins are very wise people, very smart, if not wise, and they've been at war with the world for thousands of years. They know how to divide and conquer. And those particularly who give airplanes away to presidents are the smartest of them all. For thousands of years, the hope of a return to Zion has been central to Jewish prayer, ritual, and identity. Jews, at the end of every Passover, would say, L'Shana Haba B'Yerushalayim, next year in Jerusalem. Or they pray for a new light to shine on Zion. And what they were expressing was a yearning for a homeland. You say, well, great, we believe in that, but why at the cost of the Arabs? Didn't they steal the land from the Arabs? No, actually, they didn't. And if you want to talk about stealing the land from people, all of you self-righteous leftists and now you neo-rightists, why don't you look at what happened when the State of Israel was created in the Arab Crescent in North Africa, Morocco, Algeria, Tangiers, Libya. There was a Jewish communities existed in those countries for 500 years or more, some 1,000 years. And they were deeply embedded and ingrained in the nations I've just mentioned. Upon the creation of the state of Israel, the Jews were kicked out of all of these nations, Libya, Morocco, Algeria, Tangiers, etc., and all of their property was stolen by the people that you now think are the oppressed. But you don't know any of that history. You don't know about the Jews being kicked out of northern African lands, do you? Because the Gulf states are very clever. They have focused the small minds of the left and now of the right only on what happened in Israel upon its creation. You can read it for yourself. Zionism is a Jewish nationalist movement which believes in the creation and the support of a Jewish national state in Palestine, which is the ancient homeland of the Jews. It is the national liberation movement of the Jewish people, which brought about the establishment of the state of Israel and views a Jewish, Zionist, democratic, and secure state of Israel to be the expression of the common responsibility of the Jewish people. And yet it's turned into something very different, hasn't it? We hear about free Palestine. What does free Palestine mean? It means kick the Jews out of Israel. It means from the river to the sea, the elimination of Israel and the displacement of its Jewish population. That's what free Palestine means. Now, when Ariel Sharon withdrew from the Gaza Strip, I was on the radio in 2005. I said it would lead to a disaster, and it was the greatest mistake Ariel Sharon had ever done. They actually kicked the Jews out of Gaza. The Jewish state kicked the Jews out of Gaza and made them disinter their dead relatives out of the ground, out of graveyards, and removed them from Gaza and leave no graveyards of Jewish people in Gaza. And they thought that the Palestinians would build the foundations of a peaceful state. But they didn't. They took the greenhouses that were left behind by the Jews who were raising roses and other flowers and fruits for Europe, and they turned them into launching pads for rockets onto the state of Israel. That's what happened. Now, I oppose war. I oppose oppression. I oppose the erasure of any people anywhere on earth, no matter who they are. I would like to see the war in Gaza ended. I would like to see the safe return of Israeli hostages. I have actually, in the past, but no longer believed in the creation of a two-state solution, a Palestinian state. It will never happen. It can't happen. Never. Never. If we learned anything on October 7th, it is that there will never be a two-state solution. There cannot be. Impossible. It's never going to happen. I used to believe in it. I was a child when I believed in it. It can't happen. They showed us what happens when they get a bit of power. They'll kill every Jew that they can. Rape, murder, and kill. And so I hope you'll think very carefully the next time you are drawn into the propaganda of the Gulf states, which has took over the American left a long time ago. It's been going on a long time. The American left has always hated Israel, always in love with the Arabs. Hitler loved the Arabs too, by the way. There were brigades of Arabs who fought with the Nazis. And now we have brigades of Nazis in America marching to the tune of anti-Zionism when it's really anti-Jewish. They hate Jews. Don't tell me that's just criticizing a little bit about Israel. No, it isn't. You hate Jews and you know it. In your heart of hearts, most of you who espouse anti-Zionism come from families of Jew haters. You always have and you always will be. There's always been a Jew hatred in America. There are Jews who I hate. I ran away from them in New York. But I don't hate the Jewish people. I don't hate the Arab people. I don't hate the Arab people. But I believe that Jews have the right to a homeland in Israel, which has been their homeland for 3,500 years. And I also believe the war in Gaza should be brought to a conclusion. It can be stopped. I think Netanyahu is committing a grave mistake, not only for himself, but for the Jewish people for 100 years. He's got to stop it. If, God forbid, they should go ahead and cleanse Gaza of Arabs and kick them out no matter what crap he comes up with, we're going to pay them the money to leave. If I see Trump Towers going up on the shore of Gaza, I'll throw my guts up. If I see the development of Trump Towers anywhere in Gaza, I'll get sick to my stomach. And so should you. It should not happen. It should not be allowed to happen. It should not be allowed to happen. You can't steal land like that, kick people out, and then build new buildings there and say it's for the betterment of mankind. It's just greed. I would like to see the fighting to end. I'd like to see the hostages returned. I'd like to see Gaza rebuilt. I'd like to see Ukraine rebuilt. There's a lot of things I'd like to see, but I'm only one man among 7.5 billion people on the planet. It's one man's opinion. So, my friends, be very careful when you say you're not anti-Semitic, you're just anti-Zionist. You're full of shit. Have a nice night. Some people like me, some people hate me. But if you like what you hear, and I want to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year. That's a goal. I have a small goal on YouTube. It's important that in the autumn of my career on the radio and in the media, rather, at this time, writer, author, podcaster, television star on Newsmax Television, YouTube star. In the autumn of my life, I would like to see peace on earth. I'm not alone in that. But it's not going to come when we have a new right that has emerged that is as vicious in its anti-Jewishness as any I have ever seen in my lifetime. Pray for peace. Bless America. And remember, what you want for America, all you rightnicks, borders, language, and culture, I'm the father of that, the God-fearing culture. And the Jews have every right to borders, language, and culture as you do.